Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the Technical Trader. It's Tuesday night, May the 17th. These are the charts of the day. Still a lot of bullish-looking patterns, emerging stocks, things of that nature, although we went over some of the bearish-looking charts, and there was plenty of them today. I'm going to tonight focus on some of the stocks that are hanging really nicely and even making new highs. VEO, A-V-E-O, pharmaceutical biotech stock, which is among a very strong biotech group. As you can see, had a big move last fall, when in August it went from about 6 to the high teens, around 18. Then it went into about a 7-month coiling type pattern. Broke out at the end of April. Beautiful flag setup, and then explosive move from 15 to nearly 20 over the last 6 sessions, reaching as high as 1973 today, closing out 19 up 65 cents. Volume has been pretty good. You can see technical surging, and the key is that the recent move took out the double top for November. So at this point, I'd be looking for a move into the low to mid 20s. Let's start off with 22 short-term target and 26 secondary target. Wanted to show you BIOS because of the strong move. It continues to do so. This coiling or wedging type base pattern was broken out with an explosive move just 2 weeks ago here on heavy volume. The stock had moved up steadily and then went into this flag pattern. Well, today it broke out of the flag, jumping 48 cents or 7% on 671,000 shares. Not especially a strong volume, but the technicals continue to make new highs and look real good here. Short term, we're looking for a move towards 8.25. Secondary move to about 9.5. CNTF broke out a couple weeks ago, stalled for a couple of days and consolidated, then ran up and stair-stepping its way higher. And today, after dipping down to 6:01 in the morning, it jumped to 6:30, closed at 6:25. Now, only up 11 cents, but volume remained strong, and so did technicals, and it appears we're headed towards the 6.75 level. Lateral price resistance here. Stock may be a little ahead of itself because of the move that's taken it from around the 3.75 range up to 6:30. However, I'm looking for a extensive move at some point, whether it is a consolidation or not, and eventually takes this up to the 8.5, 3/4 range, maybe as high as 10 at some point, but we're a little ahead of ourselves on that one. Wanted to show you Domino's Pizza. It's been really phenomenal how strong the stock has been here, and then finally it exploded through the rising channel and through lateral price resistance at 21.5. When that occurred, the stock's been moving up nearly every day. And when you look at the long-term chart, you'll see that this is broken out to new multi-year high territory, taking out the double top from 07 and into new all-time high territory. At this point, and if I draw lines across the major tops, I can project an intermediate to longer-term move that takes us up towards 30. That's my intermediate target. My short-term target would be up around 26.5. DUG, I wanted to point this out to you. The ultra-short oil and gas is looking quite intriguing to me. Last week I pointed out that it had a 4-day or 5-day surge that exploded it from 25 and change up to around 31, 30.5 or so. A following 4-day falling wedge held the 50-day moving average and then popped, consolidated for 3 days, and popped to new 2-month highs today. Now it has not quite gotten through this line, which is key resistance. That move would have to be through, say, 31.5, 31.60. Watch for that, because if it does occur, I can see this moving up and testing the mid-30s and then maybe high 30s. So potentially an emerging trend underway with the DUG after a really long downtrend. Most impressed am I with the volume here on this surge, and again in the last 5 sessions here. Similarly, ExamWorks popped a couple weeks ago, pulled back on a falling wedge, held a 50-day moving average, and exploded for 215 today, 9.3%. And it moved across this double top here. That's key. I'm looking now for a move that takes it up near the top of the channel around 29. Imperial Sugar has been very strong of late with world prices of sugar firming. But you can see a breakout here, a pullback, and then another breakout through here. Should lead us up to 17.5 and maybe, or even 18.5 short term. That's my targets. LXU, one of my favorites, broke out, consolidated for a while, and then rolled over, stopped us out on our swing trade, and then slammed right back up after reporting fabulous earnings with a big breakaway gap and thrust through this 6-week resistance level. Following that was a 5-day flag, orderly retracement on good technicals, which leads me to believe the stock's headed for 50. That's my short-term trade target on, or swing target on LXU. Mako definitely fooled me yesterday with this spike down here below the 50-day and slightly below the trend channel bottom right there. And had me real concerned until earnings came out and Goldman Sachs upgraded it. The stock exploded for 389 or 16.5% on 2.8 million. That, by the way, was the heaviest volume ever traded on Mako since the stock's been public in the last 3 years. Now, it's attacking or right near the double top from April here, and a move through the 27.5 3/4 zone could lead to an explosive surge that takes us into the low 30s. We'll set a $33 target on Mako. Big day for Photronics today. PLAB, which jumped 98 cents or 12.25%, nearly 5 million shares traded. That's the heaviest volume that PLAB has traded in about 2 years, and the second heaviest volume in several years. Looking again at the 1-minute chart intraday, the daily chart today, you'll see that the long-term trend remains positive. The top of the channel, as I've drawn it in here, calls for a potential move up towards 13. That's my intermediate target. Short-term target now, 11. RLD making new all-time or post-IPO highs. It's been public for about 9 to 10 months. You can see that this falling wedge resulted in the breakout, then consolidated just above the double top in December, and eventually this month has taken out those highs today up another $1.15. This is again all-time highs. My short-term target 37 on that. Rockwell Medical Technologies. I wanted to just point out how strong this has been. A 2.5, 3-week run from 8 3/4 up to nearly 14.5, about an 80% run up, and in the last 5 or 6 sessions it's consolidating nicely. You can see that during this consolidation, the unbalanced volume has made even higher highs, very bullish, and with full green balance of power, this stock has very, very strong relative action and could very well see something in the mid to high teens. RPTP, I wanted to point that out because Raptor Pharmaceuticals broke out above this key resistance level here today, stuck its head out above it with a jump of 32 cents or 8.3%. Volume was fairly heavy of late, but more importantly, this was a considerable key technical event. My next target on Raptor would be a move up towards the 7 7.25 zone, potentially short-term target at around 5 5.25. SRDX, wanted to show you this because we put it out as a possible swing trade. The stock is going to consolidate beautifully. And very little tight pennant or wedge pattern here. Any move above or out of this pattern should get through lateral resistance and move this up into the 17 and then 18.5, 19 zone. Those are my targets for SRDX. Now, SREB was a big swing trade for us of late. It went from about 13 3/4 up to nearly 20 in just a few days. Since then, it's coiled, consolidating nicely, and has designs, I think, on breaking out again, moving up. My next target, 21.22. TISA had an inside day today after yesterday's explosive move. It backed up. It came on from 255 to 285 and closed off only 6 cents. Volume receded dramatically, and it leads me to believe that there's more upside to come. I have a 415 target for TISA. Stock, we noticed it last week when it exploded here. It had a nice 4-day consolidation. Today it popped out of that to new all-time highs. 20-year TRNX up another $1.12 today. As volume increased, and I'm looking for a move that takes us to the high 20s. TTWO, that stock for today, is it moved nicely today and had a dramatic technical breakout of a 3-month basing pattern, moving up $1.23 or almost 8% on more than 6 million shares, the biggest volume since February. And at this point, it looks like a test of the next resistance level may be in order as early as tomorrow. But ultimately, the way this is acting here, we're looking for a move that takes it up toward the 2021 zone. And that's it for tonight on the long side. Tomorrow, we'll cover some more shorts for you for the weekend. Bye-bye.